You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're in a meeting, maybe a classroom, you ask a question, and you're met with just absolute silence, crickets. It's gotta be one of the most uncomfortable moments. But what if that silence isn't a failure? What if it's actually an opportunity? Today, we're gonna figure out how to turn that silence into a powerful tool for some serious thinking.
So let's start go tuning in to that all too familiar sound, or, the lack of it, that sound of silence.
Just take a second. Really think about it. The last time you asked a question and got nothing back but blank stares. I mean, you can feel that awkward, sinking feeling just thinking about it, can't you? That's what we're tackling head on today. Hold that memory for a second. How did it actually feel? A little awkward? Frustrating? Maybe you felt like you'd failed somehow? Well, that feeling is totally universal. But what if the problem isn't you? And what if it's not them either? Okay, this is where we have to flip the script. People are always thinking. Believe me, the real challenge isn't trying to get them to think. It's that our questions often shut that whole process down instead of inviting it out into the open. The problem is in our technique. So what do we do about it? We become architects, architects of the question. Instead of accidentally building walls that block people, we're going to learn how to design questions that build bridges, bridges that go directly to what people are thinking. And here's the big trap we all fall into. It's pretty wild. Some research shows that a staggering 80% of the questions we ask are just simple, fact-based recall, like what's the Q3 revenue, or when did we implement this policy? These questions, they feel like a test, an evaluation. They put people right on the spot, scrambling for that one right answer. And if they don't have it, well, silence is the safest bet, isn't it? So the solution is something called the question ladder. Instead of staying on that ground floor asking simple recall questions, we need to start climbing. We move up a rung to reasoning, asking why. Then we climb to application, exploring what if. And at the very top, we hit reflection, asking people for their own unique take on things. Every single step up that ladder invites deeper, more personal thinking. And this is the real secret sauce right here. Climbing this ladder, it's not about making the questions harder. It's about shifting who owns the answer. See, a recall question has one right answer, and you, the asker, probably already know it. But a reflection question, it has countless right answers because it's about their thoughts and their perspective. They own it. Okay, so you've built the perfect question. Now comes the absolute hardest part. Doing, well, nothing. Let's talk about the incredible and kind of uncomfortable power of the pause. 7 seconds. That's the magic number. After you ask a really good, deep question, you have to silently count to 7 in your head before you say anything else. I know, it's going to feel like an eternity, but the research is clear. Waiting just a bit longer, more than 5 seconds, leads to answers that are way more thoughtful and way more people chiming in. This means we have to totally rewire our brains. That silence that you used to dread, it's not a sign of disengagement. It's the sound of gears turning. It's literally thinking in progress. So when you ask a great question, that silence, it actually becomes a sign that you succeeded. All right, so a great question and a patient pause. That's 2 pieces of the puzzle. The third and maybe most important piece is creating an environment where people feel safe enough to actually share those thoughts. It's time to talk about engineering engagement. This is all about these subtle little shifts in how we talk that make a massive difference. So instead of shutting down an answer with wrong, get curious. Try something like, that's interesting. What made you think of it that way? You might just uncover a piece of logic you never even considered. And instead of putting one person on the hot seat with who knows the answer, make it a team sport. Hey, let's explore this together. And really, this is the golden rule that holds it all together. You could ask the most perfectly crafted, beautiful question in the world, but if people are afraid of being judged or looking silly, you are still going to get silence. Safety is the key. It's what unlocks everything. So how do you know if you're creating that safe, engaging space? Well, a great benchmark to keep in mind is the 30-70 rule. Your goal should be to do only about 30% of the talking. The other 70% of the time, that should be for them. They're thinking, they're discussing, they're speaking. You're the facilitator, not the lecturer. Because think about it. When you dominate the conversation, you control the outcome, but you pretty much kill curiosity in the process. When you step back and just facilitate, you give curiosity all this room to breathe and grow, and it often goes in directions you never, ever would have expected. So, as we start to bring all this together, our goal here needs a little bit of a redefinition. The objective isn't just to get answers. The real win, the real goal, is creating a culture where people feel comfortable enough to simply think out loud. Let's make this really practical. Right now, based on everything we've just talked about, what's one questioning habit that you're going to stop doing starting today? And maybe more importantly, what is one new strategy, like climbing the question ladder or trying that 7-second pause, that you are going to start using? Let's end with this really powerful idea. A truly engaged room isn't one where people just spit out answers quickly. It's one where they dare to think aloud. It's about creating a space where someone feels brave enough to share a half-formed idea, to work it out together, because that is where the real breakthroughs happen. So the final question is for you. How are you going to create that space?